Animals are self-sufficient creatures, but sometimes they really need our help. They may be trapped, stuck in the mud, caught in fire, frozen, or on a busy road. Who, if not people, can save them? In this episode, I'll show you some unusual and touching moments of people helping animals. It'll be interesting. All cats are very curious creatures, and it doesn't matter if they're a domestic kitten or a large, formidable predator. They're always sticking their nose where they don't belong, literally. For example, this lion in the zoo was playing with a barrel and accidentally got its head stuck in it. It has nothing to worry about, the zoo staff will help it. But what if it happens in the wild? Then people will come to the rescue too. This happened a few years ago in India with a leopard that got its head stuck in a metal pot while trying to drink water from it. The animal spent more than 6 hours in that position. Witnesses called wildlife experts and then, while waiting for them to arrive, took pictures and videos of the leopard. The experts who arrived injected the animal with a tranquilizer. Then they had to try several methods to get the leopard out of the pot. In the end, they used a special saw to cut the metal. The predator was unharmed and was released into the wild. And this is what happens when there's no tranquilizer, but it's still necessary to save the animal. This bear, like the lion and the tiger, was trapped. But drivers who were passing by came to its rescue. Together, they managed to remove the can from the bear's head. Since they had not been able to put it to sleep, the people had to run away immediately after the rescue operation to avoid the bear attacking them in anger. But it was all right. This big moose was stuck in a small swamp. Because of its large size, it was not only unable to get out on its own, but it could hardly keep its head on the surface at all, lest it get drowned. It was a matter of minutes and seconds, but the moose was lucky. Indifferent passers-by pulled it out of the swamp by the horns, but it wasn't easy. It took the efforts of 5 people to save the exhausted horned creature. And this is another animal that was seriously injured. The monkey was running so dashingly from a pack of stray dogs and was so stressed out that it lost consciousness and its heart stopped beating. By some miracle, the ambulance driver was there. He gave the monkey CPR, and a minute later the primate came back to life. It cannot be said that the ambulance driver risked something very much because monkeys are not so dangerous for people, which cannot be said about wolves. But that didn't scare the guy and the girl. They found the breathless wolf and immediately began rescuing it, giving it CPR. The predator came to its senses. Of course, it didn't attack anyone, it was exhausted. And why attack its rescuers at all? I don't know exactly how this family of ducks ended up on a busy highway, but one thing is certain. It could have been their last day on Earth. It could have been if it hadn't been for those kind motorcyclists. The guys couldn't get past the birds and decided to save them. They partially blocked traffic on the road and picked up the chicks while the mother duck flew to the other side of the highway. The guys took a big risk walking down a busy road with no traffic lights or crosswalks. But luckily, understanding drivers stopped to give the guys a pass. Seconds later, the duck family was together and safe. The following footage is really creepy. The house cat got out of the apartment on the 11th floor level and climbed onto a ledge from which it couldn't turn back around. It could only fall down. Cats, of course, can survive such a fall, but not always. It's a good thing there were already prepared people standing below with a stretched cloth. They caught the cat and it was unharmed. A shark is a dangerous marine predator that you should stay away from. Who would ever come up with the idea of saving it? For example, not indifferent eyewitnesses. Besides, they were rescuing a baby shark, which was thrown on the rocks. At first, they poured water on the shark and tried to push it into deeper water, but because of the rocks, it was very difficult to do. Then they took the baby shark out, carried it on a surfboard to a suitable place, and put it in the water. And here's a bigger shark. The predator was washed far away on the sandy shore, and it got bogged down in the sand. Then, literally, all the visitors of the beach started a rescue operation. Some dug a ditch to the water, others poured water on the shark so it wouldn't suffocate, and still others found a rope and wrapped it around the shark. When everything was ready, dozens of people simultaneously dragged the heavy shark into the water and safely returned it to its native environment. The joy of the people was boundless. There was a fire in the house, but worst of all, there was a little kitten in the house at the time of the fire. It couldn't get out and inhaled the carbon monoxide. The baby showed no signs of life. But the firefighter did everything in his power to save the furball. With the help of water and an oxygen mask, he literally brought the little creature back to life. Huge respect to such people and their dangerous profession. Camels are known to go without water for a very long time, a week, sometimes even 2. But even these hunched-back creatures sometimes experience an acute sense of thirst, like this poor fellow that was found somewhere on the side of the road in the desert. It was dehydrated and exhausted. It would have stayed there if it hadn't been for the people who gave it water and rescued it. A stray dog had fallen into a canal with steep walls. No matter how hard it tried, it couldn't climb up. People passing by could not calmly look at it and decided to help the dog. They formed a team and together rescued the dog from trouble. That's what I call teamwork. The cat was unlucky too and somehow ended up in a shallow canal. The walls here are generally vertical, so it's simply impossible to climb up. But this man came up with a simple and ingenious way to help. He lowered a box on a rope and lifted the furball to the surface. This turtle was injured by humans. Fishing net got stuck in its throat. It got stuck so deeply that the reptile couldn't eat and had difficulty breathing. But the turtle was lucky to run into these kind people who corrected the mistake at some fishermen and freed the creature from captivity. Deer tolerate cold weather well, but there's a limit to everything. As the men drove along the winter highway, they found a deer on the side of the road. It was incredibly cold outside, and the deer's entire face was covered in ice and snow. The animal felt very bad, could barely move and see something, and was about to freeze to death. It's a good thing these people didn't drive by like so many others, but gave the poor thing a few minutes of their time. They removed the ice from the ungulate's face and freed it from the terrible ice captivity. The following story happened somewhere in the wilderness. Due to inexperience, a young elephant missed a deep hole and accidentally fell in. There was no way it could get out on its own, and there was nothing the adult elephants could do about it. So they had to wait for help from humans. They used an excavator to literally dig a way for the elephant to escape. The elephant family immediately ran to meet their baby. After the warm welcome, the adult elephants didn't forget to thank the rescuers. Just look at how they waved their trunks, as if saying thank you to people. It's not known how this goat hooked on the wires with its horns. The goat was hanging, unable to do anything about it, and risked getting a fatal electric shock. But of course, this didn't happen. With the help of a rope and a strong ladder, the people managed to remove the goat from the wires. After the rescue, the goat didn't leave immediately. Like those elephants, it looked back at the people and non-verbally thanked them for their timely help. Sometimes you have to save someone from a snake, and sometimes the snakes themselves need help. As in this case, there was a snake under the hood of a car. It was a very dangerous snake, the venomous black mamba. These snakes are notorious for their toxicity, incredible speed, and aggression. Fortunately, the mamba did not attack its rescuers and was soon free. These people also took a risk when they stumbled upon a fox that had its paw caught in a trap. Sooner or later, the predator would have died, which the caring heroes of the story couldn't allow. They freed the fox, and it ran away to lick its wounds. That's all, guys. Have you ever rescued animals? Share your stories in the comments. Thank you for watching, and see you later.